This guy said, do you find purpose in cheat meals? Guys like Branch Warren claim it's just an excuse to eat shitty food. Any real meaning behind them? Obviously, you said there was, but...
Yeah, well, it is an excuse to eat shitty food. I mean, I love Branch Warren, but I'm not... You think Branch Warren's been competing since 93, 92, 91?
Well, he's hardcore, too.
But you think he's never had a cheat meal in 30 years? There's nothing magical about cheat meals. What's magical about cheat meals is that when you're starving and you're dying and your family hates you and you have no energy and you want nothing more than just to eat some garbage that you know is going to give you some mouth pleasure, and the idea that you can't for the next 4 months is pretty damn daunting. But knowing that in 6 days, if I get one cheat meal a week, knowing that no matter how terrible this is, I only got to suffer for this for 6 days, and then I can go ahead and eat what I'm craving. And what that does is, like I said before, with the glycogen storage and placing the hypercaloric days on days when you know you're depleted and you know you can eat more calories than you burn and minimize the fat storage from those calories. Having the cheat meal on that day is predictable. We understand what it's doing, and we know we're minimizing the negative effects of it, so that it's part of the diet. Where if we don't do that, and on this low carb day, this is our main fat burning day, we're low carb, we're killing it, we're doing a double cardio session, and this is our biggest fat burning day of the week, and you spaz out and go order half the menu off McDonald's on that day in an unplanned cheat meal. Now we went from our main fat burning day to a fat gain day. And that ruins a whole week. Where if we plan that cheat meal, and people aren't robots, and and maybe some people can stick to no cheat meals for 16 weeks, but it's 3,500 calories for a pound of fat. If you're a large person and you're normally eating 800 calories in a meal, and we change that meal to a cheat meal and you eat 1,600 calories, which is a more likely cheat meal where you go and eat a bunch of burger and fries and have a beer or two, so you had 800 extra calories. So once a month you gain a pound of fat. So that cheat meal means over a 4-month period there's a maximum, and that's if you store none of that cheat meal. You store every gram of that cheat meal above what you normally would have ate as fat, which isn't going to happen. But even if, worst case scenario, 100% of those extra calories are stored only as fat in the body, you gain 4 pounds. It's a 4 pound of fat difference over a 4-month contest prep. 4 pounds, I don't think people realize how little 4 pounds looks. Take Ronnie Coleman on stage and add 4 pounds of fat on him, and he looks like Ronnie Coleman. And that's assuming in the perfect scenario where with no cheat meals. So that's absolute worst case. Every calorie of that cheat meal gets stored as fat. And not only that, when you don't have the cheat meal, you get none of the metabolic, or you don't lose any of the metabolic benefits. So taking absolute worst case scenario, it makes almost no difference of appearance on your stage. Now, if we don't do that and we say no cheat meals, and 3 times during prep that fat burning day turns into a fat storage day where you had the cheat meal that wasn't planned when you were supposed to be in a pure fat burning state all day, maybe you gain 6 pounds of fat. Now that's worse than having that cheat meal every week with just a few, which is one of those a month that was unplanned. So I mean, people aren't robots, and there's no, all that matters on stage is that you look the best. There's no moral victory. No one pats you on the back or gives you a thumb up or a kiss on the cheek because you suffered more than someone else.
My experience with the cheat meal type thing is I purposely would not allow myself to have a cheat meal for at least 4 weeks, and I always kind of told myself I had enough glycogen build up to last a month that I didn't deserve it. But that was because I had to get my brain set to be able to do, I don't like fucking dieting. All right. So, and keep in mind, we're talking about dieting here. We're talking about like prep dieting. We're not talking about eating healthy type of stuff. Yeah. And we probably should, so we'll deviate. The next question we're going to ask the next question ourselves. But you got to be in a certain mental state to be able to do that. Where if I would have started every single time I tried to get lean with a cheat meal every week, it would have been a disaster. Yeah. It would have been horrible.
I guess I should say, I tend to, I really narrow my focus because I'm working with bodybuilders, and so I'm picturing someone who's been eating chicken and rice all off season. They're 12% body fat, looking to get down to 4%.
Yeah, I mean they're coming in at 20%. Yeah. You got a lot of glycogen to go before the replenish. But if we're just going to talk about, eating clean or eating healthier to lose weight. you have to be in a calorie deficit. B, you should have some type of circulatory exercise in your program. And I'm not saying it has to be cardio, but it has to be enough that's pumping blood through your body to be able to push nutrients through your body. And you got to be compliant, and you got to make sure that the more than 50% is food that is nutrient dense. I think that would be my basic, if I was to talk to my aunt and say, look, how do you lose weight? Well, here, first off, just like you said earlier, just make better choices.
Yeah.
Don't sit here and tell me you're stupid. You know what I'm saying? People act like they're way dumber about nutrition than they are.
No, people know. People want to convince themselves that they don't know, but
they know.
Yeah, people know. There's. We go to any. What I used to say is, sorry, this might even be off tangent, but off topic. But I used to tell people, go to start out, go to a restaurant. Everyone has a hard time picking their meal. Most people. There might be 2 or 3 meals that you want to eat, and all 3 of them look like they'll taste equally as good. Start off by picking the one that you know is the healthiest of those 3 options. And the person that asked before, the 44% body fat, just doing that's going to get you moving in the right direction. You know, like, oh, that steak looks good, those ribs look good, and those fried fish looks good. Well, fried fish is terrible. The ribs are a ton of fat. The steak's much better. Choose the steak. You're still eating pretty damn good. You're having a nice juicy steak at a restaurant. But that's the best of those 3 options. That's a win, which what could have been a loss.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest takeaway from just basic weight loss. And
you don't need to eat health. I mean, you really don't. There's a big difference between health, the way you look, eating healthy food, and weight loss. And actually, if you judge health, you have to decide what your markers for health are. If your marker for health is longevity, then all that really matters is calories. They got mice living to the human equivalent of 200 years, and all they're doing is starving them, getting them as close to dying from starvation as possible, and it just slows down every process in the body that they live a very, very long time. I'm sure my mom's not listening. No family listens to these things after the first minute or two. But for my wedding, I had my mom lose a lot of weight. All we did a calorie cycling. I let her eat anything she wanted. She said she wanted to lose weight, but she would not eat healthy. She wanted to eat M&Ms. And so all we did was we gave her a calorie count. There was calorie count A, calorie count B, calorie count C. And they went up like that. And she went A, B, C, A, B, C, and just rotate eating anything she wanted as long as she was within those calories. And she was, I mean, very thin. You would think she was someone at my wedding. You would think she was, someone who worked out every day and ate super healthy.
It's not like where it becomes the challenge, and I think this is where the general public and powerlifters or people who are just training because they love training are trying to simulate. The challenge is when you're taking somebody who you're prepping them, and you actually want to try to add muscle to them while they're in a calorie deficit, all right, which is almost impossible, but I believe it's possible.
Well, I'm glad you said it because it absolutely is, and it's based on hormonal levels, androgen to estrogen levels. So in a case with rising androgens, that is possible because you can have a localized case of protein synthesis. And the reason it's possible is because protein synthesis is very, very low calorie. If you can convert only 10 grams of protein a day, so 40 calories, that's nothing. So 40 calories a day of muscle, that's 10 pounds of muscle a year. So you can be in a pretty strong calorie deficit and have localized cases where, so I can convert 40 calories a day to muscle and still be in a huge calorie deficit. I mean, 40 calories is nothing on top of a 3,500 calorie diet. So.
Yep. And that's, for most though, they're just trying to maintain. It's like, look, I want to drop 30 pounds, but I want to maintain the same lean body mass or, whatever it's going to be. And I think that people that gym bros, like, that's what I want to do. It's like, listen, man, there's a lot of discipline, that goes into that, and take as much shit as you want. It still isn't gonna happen like that. Wait. All right, guys, if you've been, I had this stupid shit. All right, guys, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, select notifications, but also keep in mind, we do have a website. It's elitefts.com. On our website, we put up 2 new articles every single day, 7 days a week. We also have training blogs that are updated daily, coaching blogs which are updated daily, archived history of over 1 million Q&As that are on the website. So check out our website. Also check out our Instagram, which is at elitefts, and my personal Instagram, which is at under the bar, as we're always putting new content there as well. So check them all out because we have different content on all different channels.